Yes, my room is quite a mess today, and there's a reason. My niece stayed over last night, and being a 13-year-old, and the teens not being the easiest of times for some of us, I thought let's have some fun. So pizza, popcorn, movies, and laughter were all involved. And it ended up like this. I hope you could appreciate my honesty in showing you this mess, as I wasn't gonna include it in the, at first. But I thought, meh, none of us are perfect, and things get this way at times, even after creativity. No 13-year-olds need be involved. So, let's begin. Today, I'm not just gonna clean this mess, but I'm gonna open out and disconnect absolutely every single thing here, including each cable of the vintage hi-fi system, the computer, the main computer that is, and also the Amigas and Commodore 64, as in every single freaking cable. And also I'm gonna clean out all the furniture from this side of the room and then add a new desk, which was found somewhere and abandoned, so I snaffled it since it was sat idle somewhere, because it would go perfectly with what I needed here, and better being here than going to waste, right? If you remember from my last video, my room setup video, when I set my entire room up, it was around last summer, you will probably realize that I was sitting on the floor on a beanbag, or right now it's one of those floor stools. And sure, it's comfortable for a short amount of time. I enjoy sitting on the floor, or as you probably noticed in my recent Nostalgia Time videos, I lay on my front on the bed. I don't know whether to go away. Every tiny part in this has me on edge. It may be cozy and comfortable, but in the long term, my knees nor my back don't thank me for after long hours of video or audio editing, or long hours on Soundtracker or Deluxe Paint if I'm on the Amiga. So I decided a desk is needed. This is actually a much better solution, I think. In the previous setup, the vintage audio or my hi-fi equipment was merged completely with my modern computer, the one which I video edit with, whereas now it is more segregated and not freaking mishmashed together. And in the previous one, I was always paranoid about the record player and damaging it in any way. I had very little disk space as well, as it was all taken up by the hi-fi separates. But now everything is just way more organized, and it has its own space. It's definitely easier to keep tidy for sure. By the way, I've left the vintage hi-fi setup disconnected for now because I need more of a plan to set it up. There are new additions to it, of course, and I noticed that the first hi-fi setup video was very popular amongst you all. More than I expected, to be honest, and people are still commenting on it, making suggestions which I've already actually done, so definitely an update is due because I have a better setup now. You will also notice that in this video there are a lot of references to previous videos, old and recent. I guess you can call this kind of video a milestone. It's around 2 years now that I've been on YouTube, and for sure it just does not feel like it. Time has just zapped by, and it just reminds me that absolutely nothing is permanent. What I'm about to say is not in a morbid way, but more in a positive way. We're all here for a limited amount of time. No matter what affiliation we have, we all know full well that no one can deny that each of us have a single life. All this conflict, sense of superiority, sense of inferiority, all this illusory bullshit ego games, it all actually means freaking nothing. Because we all end up in the same place in the end. We're kidding ourselves. No matter what we think or do, it's just gonna end that way. So we should be at peace. Just make the most of it. Something which I seriously don't understand about the world lately and people in generally. And all this fear between people for whatever reason, it's all illusory. All this conflict, it's planned and engineered that way. It's a form of manipulation. It's freaking pointless. and a waste of precious life and precious time, which each of us have very little of. Yes, I do have a few things on my mind, which is why I'm saying all this stuff. In fact, I've been having all this on my mind for a lot. There's more going on than just giggles and Super Frog or Amiga. You know, in my mind, there's a lot more going on than I let on sometimes. Well, most of the time, actually. You will notice in my videos, I just cannot be bothered with formalities. I'm just me. I laugh hard when I play games. I allow myself to be crazy, goofy, and stupid. Life is just short. You know, there's no point. And I do thank you all for sticking around, and I hope you continue to. You know, let's just chill. So this is now the result of 6 hours of cleaning. I literally kind of started around midnight and I ended up finishing at 6 a.m. And yeah, you could probably hear it from my voice. But oh my goodness, what a night. It was just, you know, taking things around, a lot of heavy lifting as much as I could anyway. But it's finally done. So okay, the next part, I'm gonna set up, you know, the stuff here. The hi-fi isn't set up, and neither are the Amigas and the Commodore 64. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be a, you know, if I can set them all up in one part, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'll split the parts. You know, I'll do a hi-fi setup and I'll do an Amiga setup. I think the latter will probably end up being the case because things generally tend to take longer than, you know, expected. As you probably noticed, there's something uploading on YouTube, and that is the Nostalgia Time, today's Nostalgia Time, Super Frog one, and it's a Super Frog Space Station one. So yeah, this is when I did this. And of course, recording a video and uploading it that same week, it's too much. I know things start getting stressful. As you can see, I have my Amigas there, my 1200, and my 500 with the Commodore 64 on top of it. You know, it's on a plinth. And I've managed to set the find space for the 1541 drive there as well. Unfortunately, my cassette collection has been hidden by that screen, and there's really nothing much I can do about that. You know, it's a shelf, isn't it? But I can still access them, you know, just behind the screen, and yeah, it'll be fine. The next part will be the hi-fi setup, and then the part after that will be the retro Amiga setup, the Amigas and the Commodore 64. And yeah, we should be done by then. I can just enjoy it. And the third and final part will be the setup of the retro computers, and of course you can see the cables there. The cables and stuff in front of the 1541 drive. Those are just like bunched up RGB cables together, so I need to kind of, you know, connect everything up properly. The good thing about this setup is that, you know, I can use my chair on this finally, and I can sit on the bed as well without, you know, my back being strained. So, and that's most important, you know, without my back or my knees being strained, because I had to sit on the floor almost before. Because before I had to sit on the floor, and when I was doing sound tracker I had to lie down on my front, which is, lying down on my front is cozy when we're doing Nostalgia Time, but when you're doing like, you know, freaking 4 hours, 5 hours of sound tracker or something like this, it's not so comfortable, especially when you need to kind of play the keyboard. You know, it's just impractical. So this is much better, and I think it's going to be much better for my health as well. And as I mentioned, I'm going to cover specific things in forthcoming parts, so do stick around for that. Thanks so much for your likes, your shares. Do leave your thoughts in the comments below, and of course don't forget to check out my other videos and do subscribe for more. And for now, I will say adios.